Let me take you back to Sunday. The ball is with Christian Saile, who was signed as a striker because Kaizer Chiefs realized they'd made a mistake in signing another striker before him. But the twist is he's also not a striker. That's a side note that we'll discuss later on. Goes, crosses the ball, and then guess who's in the 18? The guy from Venezuela they signed as a defensive midfielder who comes across, finds a way to score the goal past the goalkeeper. The stadium goes mad. Bilo, what does this have anything to do with what's in the title and in the thumbnail? Well, these two players have everything to do with what is going wrong with Kaizer Chiefs. Stay around to find out what. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Bilo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. Right, so what am I even saying? What do you mean Usaile no Castillo are a symbol of what is wrong with the club? Well, I will tell you what. Take for example Christian Saile Basombolo. Christian Saile Basombolo was signed because Kaizer Chiefs signed Ukele Pimenyimana as a panic buy because they stayed the entire winter, the entire June transfer window, not signing a striker. When Dupree got injured, which was the only striker they signed, they realized, oh my God, we need to sign a striker. They signed Pimenyimana. They brought him on for trials, and then he trialed, and then Zwane wasn't impressed, but because of the lack of a striker, they were forced to sign him. Now, the first problem that we must address now is, to begin with, what's the criteria that Kaizer Chiefs actually uses to bring in players for our trials? Because if Uzwane wasn't impressed with my trials, yes, it happens Uguti players come in for trials. But if we look at Chiefs, last season, you remember there was that boy from under 19 Stellenbosch who had been released. He came, he trialed, he failed. That's number one. There was the other one who I think it's Lake also. He comes, not the left back, the striker, if I'm not mistaken. He comes, he fails, he doesn't cut it. I think there were like a handful of people who came, trialed, it didn't work. There was also that guy who had played for Dortmund B team. All of them, they came, they failed, they came, they failed. Now I know people are gonna think, hey Mpilo, you are being stupid. No, I know Guti players my trials, it's not guaranteed to Guti it's gonna work. But the first filter should be equality enough that you leave us with our heads and thinking, ish, maybe this might work. But that first filter seems like it's just like it's open to anyone because of the failure rate. It's so high. Secondly, when they end up signing Caleb, we were told by Kaizer Chiefs, the coach and management, we don't just sign players for the sake of signing them. And as I'm speaking wearing a white t-shirt, I'm realizing that exposure is too much and it's reflecting. But that's a point for another day. Anyways, so when that happens, Kaizer Chiefs brings in Caleb, and then he doesn't fit my trials, but they end up signing him in any case. And then he starts playing. And then he scores those penalties, and it's Khosi getting up because he was scoring those penalties. But you look at his movement, it's unsatisfactory. You look at the other things that he does, Agnelisi. You look at aerial ability, because people are going to say Zwane didn't coach him. He even didn't coach the heading. Pela told players badla ngokubabadi. But even the heading, Caleb, how many goals did he score with the header? Probably one, if I'm not even sure. I remember the penalties, and then the one he scored against Arrows, and then the one he scored against Swallows. I think that was the header. But after that, there's nothing else. Completely unsatisfying. Why is that? What do we look for? Do we just look at this thing yoguti umdlalo available? It's easy to get him, so let's get him. Or we're desperate for a player. Here's a player, let's sign him. Because what has happened now, where this whole thing is going, is the fact that after just one season of signing Caleb Pimenyimana, Kaizer Chiefs have released him. They have released him, and apparently, well, not apparently, Even he is happy, because if you go to his Instagram, you will see he's saying that I am happy that I am free. So it's like Chiefs was now a prison to him, because he's saying he's happy that he's free from Chiefs. They negotiated to have him released, and then he left Chiefs, and now he's happy that he's free. So to me, it's like, ubani who's the primary scout, or who sets the criteria, who goes out and observes these players that we can then invite for our trials? Because the problem is there. It starts there. The second problem is obviously ukuthi umdlalo usefikile kuma trial and sesiyapatanis. Because here's what I don't get. How can you bring in someone? Because right now I was talking as a person who has accepted the fact that Chiefs uses a system yama trial to see players. Fine, they are trying to make money, they're a business after all. But now on the other hand, how can you say I need a striker, I really need a striker, and say you are going to use this method, this long shot method of trialing players, instead of just going out and paying money for a striker? Right? Like a big team like Kaizer Chiefs, people are going to keep on saying, not Jessica did say this, at the end of the day, we're a business. And that line will always come into my mind when I think about the fact that Umasego alone is 21 million. I know we're not like Sundowns, but there are a lot of players that we could have signed that we ended up not signing, because at the end of the day, we're a business and we must make money. Which is funny, because the club is making money from these t-shirt sales, from these sponsorships. And how are they benefiting from that? Because Ubaba Kaizer Mtaung has made this brand so big that it makes any match in South African football look good, not in terms of the style of play, but in terms of the attendance. And you know, Guti, if there are eyeballs, then it's good for the game. And any game that Chiefs plays, and because of that, brands want to associate with the Chiefs, because they know good, if there is Chiefs, then there are eyeballs. Ukapa right now, I don't know, I'm a reporter, I would like to see their financial reports after they became after they were in partnership with the Chiefs. So I don't think Indaba Emal is a big deal. Chiefs say it's just that I feel like they just want more than what they are getting, and they are trying to squeeze it as much as they can. And in that way, they are compromising in spending, because they want to protect the money that they are spending and have a profit. Because at the end of the day, we are a business. Special shout out to Martin, who's a member of this channel. And you can also be a member of this channel by clicking on the link on the description or on the first comment of this video. It's only 20 rands per month. You get stickers next to your name. I saw Gutabo Mandla, and I forgot ubana buying sebefike gold, because each month that you spend as a member of the channel, your star or your sticker next to your name, it changes, because it shows how long you've been a member. So shout out to everyone who's a member, and to all of you who are subscribed. Maybe the power ayivuma mandle mal awavum, but siyabonga ukuthi subscribe. Please like the video and also just subscribe to the channel, and also share, guys. One of these videos that I'm making must trend. Aibu, we must trend now. We must trend. Yeah, just saying. So sharing, liking, and commenting gets me there. Get me. Anyways, why am I saying Usaile is also part of a problem? Once again, it's because we brought Usaile in as the number 9, but it's been clear Uguti is not a number 9. He's been way more effective as a winger. Once again, Usaile has been booed and booed and booed the entire preseason, even against the Chipa. He was played through the middle, or not through the middle, at that time was more inverted, and he struggled. People started booing him. He comes in against Cape Town City, he's playing wide. Look at what he did. He's more effective, he gets us an assist, we win the match. But Tina, as Kaizer Chiefs scouts and technical team, Usaile had been identified as a striker. Scouting go wrong, classify abadlali in wrong positions, and because of that, because now fans are seeing a player underperform and the player is playing out of position. Take a step. Came from Sundowns, not Sundowns, Amazulu. We're talking here when they were signed. Beno Mart and all these other guys. Was playing as an attacking midfield. was converted to a defensive midfielder because we didn't have a defensive midfielder after Uplom left. He played that position solid. Now when he's being played in any other role in midfield, he just doesn't perform that well, and all of a sudden we're saying almost say Yincha, say Yinto, in. All these other players that we bring in, bedlala mayama position or bedlala in a certain way, we don't even see or look ukuthi, okay, fine, he's a good player, but is he a good player for Chiefs? Because there are players who are just so good, but they are not good for a certain team. Take Messi. Messi is so great. He is so great. Messi. Ronaldo, same thing. Great players, both great players. But you're not gonna play Ronaldo. Let me just use him as a practical example. You take him to Man United, Lega Ten Hag. Bamaga bonke lababantu right now. I don't even like the team, but I'm using him because the scandal Sake was so big. I want to check what is their load shedding right now. So they take him, they make him a person also Mark. He's Ronaldo, and he's 37 at the time. Okay, there's no upcoming load shedding. Sorry for that. I had to confirm. So here's Ronaldo. He's not gonna mark, and obviously he's not gonna fit the system because it also relies on a counter. Ronaldo from 10 years ago would have worked. Madrid played a counter. United got Alex Ferguson played a counter. But right now, at 37, when he was at United, that was never gonna work. So as much as he was a good player, he was no longer a Manchester United player. So it's the same thing that Chiefs will sign a good player, but that player is not good enough for Chiefs. Sometimes it's not even a matter of he's bad, he just doesn't fit in the system, right? Because Usakhota is gonna shine with Stellenbosch. And then people are gonna say, people are gonna say, oh, Boogie Chiefs, they let go of a player. But sometimes the systems, they just don't agree with certain players. But Tina, when we're signing, we're like, oh, form. Let's sign him. And we forget to form does not translate to fitting into a certain system. Finish and clear. Which is the same thing that Saile, mhlambe basazophinde bayenze futhi and play him as an inverted winger, while he needs to be wide, and then when he cuts in, it gives him space to run into a defender, dribble them, cut in, or take them wide. It works for him better that way. Now, the second player I want to talk about is Thabo Cele. And I talked about Castillo being a problem. It's not actually a problem. But Usaile, we saw Guti before he came to South Africa. He was now being played more as a box-to-box midfielder. And a lot of times, even when I was watching that game, he was advancing forward. Isale Liambob. And now there are two problems with that. You are now having to force Umati to say, oh, Castillo is moving, so I must close for him. It happens in football. So you cover for the player. But that's because in Chaga Castillo is that I go forward and try get and do something up there. And also, if Castillo is box to box, it also means you have more aggression further up front, because you have more aggression, you have more physicality. But if you're just saying, Agahlale deep, Kanti wants to venture forward and go to something there, which clearly can do something for us. He did score for us at the weekend. Then it's clear Uguti, you have a box-to-box midfielder. You like playing a system of 4-2-3-1. That means we play Castillo as the box-to-box, but we still need a defensive midfielder. Wait, there's Thabo Cele. Then you mess that up too. If you don't know what happened with Thabo Cele has signed a contract to play in Russia. It didn't work lapha na ko Poland, so avelo across the border wa Russia. After that, Chiefs sekhulunyiwe ukuthi Chiefs have agreed a deal with Thabo Cele. Everything was going well, and all of a sudden nothing else was happening. Thabo Cele is in Russia. A country that's busy waging war on Poland. What if Poland retaliates and starts fighting back and invades Russia? Now, I'm just taking this far. But the point is, he went to Russia. Hey, this camera is not focused and it's not make sure. I must change the autofocus settings. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is, Kaizer Chiefs have fumbled such a big move. You get to Thabo Cele. You get a proper defensive midfield. You allow Castillo to be solid defensively because he is, but also to be able to go forward and do the things that he can do. to carry the ball, to find passes, to do all of these nice things. Imagine our midfield. Ele, Castillo, Mdantsane, and you can take out Mdantsane, bring in Umat, who's still very good defensively. You can also take out Castillo, bring in Umat. Second half, we messed that up too. I understand him, because I understand. I'll just leave it there. I don't understand my team. Hi. It is what it is. But once again, what can we say? Chiefs is a business and they must make money, and it doesn't matter if that comes at a cost of losing quality players who would have contributed so much to the club. And this is not the first time we fumbled the move, by the way. It's not. As in, so it defend the Chiefs. And as no man any niggas with premium custard. Nyaitanda le team, guys. Yes, I love this team. You. Yes, I love Kaizer Chiefs, Shem. But they do these things. They do these things. They do these things that make you question good. Is the love reciprocated? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Bias use a lava for has Chiefs just use guys. Chiefs just use Moyo Apela. What do you think about Caleb leaving Chiefs? Because it's good for him. It's good for us. We're not using him. But it's horrible because it's showing a very bad thing about Chiefs. What do you think about Thabo Cele's move being fumbled? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, remember, equals Alpelu Moy.